Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 4 of my journey through the Beatles both solo discographies, and continue it off with George Harrison's 1973 album, "Living in the Material World." And yeah, this album came out 3 years after his masterpiece, All Things Must Pass. And he took a break from music for a little bit, and yeah, um, of course, of course, how are you gonna follow up a masterpiece, And well, let's find out how he did it. Uh, Track number one, "Give Me Love, Give Me Peace on Earth." Um, Really, really great way to start off the record. Um, definitely a great, definitely a very iconic George Harrison piece, if I say so myself. Very, it's recognizable when it was his second number one hit behind "My Sweet Lord," and it's a hit for a reason. It's just a great song, and I quite love it. Very nice song to open up the record, and yeah, it's just a really good song. Uh, Next song, "Sue Me, Sue You Blues." Uh, this song is a little bit of a kind of a funky song, if may kind of, and the song's about George Harrison's about the lawsuit George Harrison had with Paul McCartney, and I don't know all about that, but that's what I heard. That the song's about the lawsuit that he had with Paul McCartney, and he kind of deals with it in a kind of funny, not funny, but like in a kind of lighthearted, goofy kind of manner. Like this isn't like this isn't like a serious song, but it's not like lighthearted either. But yeah, I quite like it. It's pretty good. It goes on for a tiny bit too long, but I still quite like it. Uh, "The Light That Has Light in the World." Wow, this is a really good song. Very underrated. Beatles solo Beatles song. Not many people talk about it as much as it needs to be talked about. It's really good though, and yeah, it's quite nice after the last song. Uh, "Don't Let Me Wait Too Long." Really great upbeat song. Very fast paced, and it's a song that stands out to me every time I listen to this record. Who Can See It? Really nice piece by George Harrison. This song, yeah, I quite like it. His vocals are great, and the music is really good. This is Phil Spector's involved in this album. Like he's involved in another George Harrison record, and yet another case of Phil Spector being absolutely great on a solo Beatle record. I know a lot of people like to hate on Phil Spector, but I like his contributions to the Beatles Let It Be album. I like his contributions to the John Lennon albums. I like his contributions on the George Harrison albums. I just I'm a and of course back in the '60s he was producing records for female artists back then, and he does great with them too. And yeah, I always I really like Phil Spector. He's quite talented. And this song's a good example of that. Uh, Ending on side one, "Living in the Material World," and it's the title track, and really great title track. Very upbeat. I don't know if the things he's talking about is upbeat, but pardon me. But I quite like it a lot. I like the part where it kind of goes back to his Indian roots from when he was with the Beatles, and it's quite cool. I quite like it. I don't think I don't think he does it anymore on his solo records. I could be wrong. I haven't listened to his solo discography in a very long time, and I think this is like the only song in his discography. Well, minus that one 1968 album with the Wonderwall sound, but I'm pretty sure this is the only like Indian like influence track on his solo records, and I wish he did it more on his solo albums because his Indian influence songs were very great. They were one of my all time favorite Beatles song is "Within You Without You," and that's a George Harrison Indian piece. So, I wish he did it more on his solo records. Uh, Side two opens up with "The Lord loves the one that loves the Lord." I quite like it. Opens up side two pretty strongly, and yeah, it's a pretty good song. I quite like it. It's not bad at all. Be Here Now. Nice, very slow track. It's very nice. Uh, Definitely a song you just gotta like listen to it and just kind of take in. And yeah, it's really nice. Try Some, Buy Some. Kind of the same as I said before. Plus, you get a little bit of Phil Spector's, his sound. It's not as strong as it was in the last album, All Things Must Pass, like Wow Wow or Waiting on You All, but you still kind of get that Phil Spector feel on this song. Uh, the Day the World music gets round. Oh man, not music. The Day the World gets round. Man, this is a beautiful song. I really like it. Really good song. I quite like it. Yeah, I can't really say anything negative about these songs. That is all. Really great way to end off the album. Yeah, it's a great song. Um, yeah, I really enjoy the tune. Another a lot of the songs on on this album is really underrated. Not real extremely underrated. Like I'll get more into that when we get into Dark Horse and Extra Texture because that album is those two albums are filled with a bunch of hidden gems, but I'll get to them when I get to them. But yeah, that's only 11 tracks, as opposed to well, as to the 23 tracks off of All Things Must Pass. Um, my top five favorite tracks on this album. Number five, The Light That Has Light in the World. Number four, Give Me Love, Give Me Peace on Earth. I love that track. Number three, Don't Let Me Wait Too Long. Number two, Living in the Material World. Number one, my favorite track off the album is This World Gets Round. My absolute favorite. And my dishonorable track, I first I didn't want to do a dishonorable track because I don't dislike a single song on this album or think any song is weak on the album. But I'm like, you know what? I have to. I'm trying to do it. So I guess the weakest track I guess is The Lord Loves the One. I guess, and even that's a strong song. So say same with last video with the All Things Must Pass. I can't even think of a. And the one track that I did choose was I don't even consider it to be weak. It's just the bottom of the best, I guess. Um, my rating, um, another 10 out of 10. It's another 10 out of 10. I have zero problems with this record. A lot of people call it preachy. A lot of people call it like disastrous compared to like not disastrous, but like a very weak. Like people are like, oh, it's not as good as All Things Was Past. Well, I'm not going by what's better than what's All Things Was Past. If I'm going by if I'm comparing the records, then yeah, this is nowhere near as good as the last record, even though I gave them both the same rating. But I just go by how great the music is and how well it flows together. And this record is great. So I'm not going to go by how great it compares to other albums. And yeah, I quite like it. A really great way to follow up the masterpiece that is All Things Was Past. Well, that should wrap up the video. And next video, I'll be. I tried making a schedule like Wednesdays and Saturdays, but I'm off from work today. They let me off work today, so I figure I have time to make a video today. So I guess I made my video. Uh, Next album review is gonna be on his 1974, I think, record. I'm not really too good on these years. Is 19 I was right. 1974 album, Dark Horse. And excited to get into that record because very underrated album of his, I remember. Haven't listened to it in a decently long time. I haven't listened to any of George Harrison's albums in a long time. This is like the first time I've listened to Living in the Material World in a very long time, and I listened to it a few times, and I was pleasantly surprised how great this album was. The knows maybe I might not like Dark Horse as much as I did when I first heard it, or maybe I might like it better when I first heard it. I don't know. Then yeah, and the Extra Texture album, then 33 and a Third, Harrison, Somewhere in England, Don Chapo, Cloud9, and Brainwashed. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you guys in the next one. So long.